Welcome, tireless watchers of glittering facades and curious hearts who crave the pulse beneath the spotlight. Welcome once again to the sanctuary where whispers become revelations and timing is everything. You are at the beating heart of secrets behind the stars. In a world where noise wins more often than nuance, where every second is a new scroll and every scroll a demand for attention, few dare to let silence do the talking. Yet two figures have chosen precisely that high-wire act, the rare art of restraint that electrifies the air. We are speaking, of course, of Gökberk Yildirim and Cemre Arda. While others chased the echo of yesterday's trend, these two pressed pause, dimmed the room, and allowed tiny glimmers to guide the eye. No gratuitous comments, no reckless cameras, just the careful architecture of two people who understand that every step has a cost and every weight can pay in gold. Before we peel back the layers of the plan that has industry observers holding their breath, take a moment to fortify our pact. Subscribe to Secrets Behind the Stars so you never miss a heartbeat of this unfolding story. Tap that bell so you hear the first knock of change the moment it lands. And if our way of decoding the plays behind the curtains moves you, leave a like that tells the algorithm what your intuition already knows. For the ones who want a seat at the head table and wish to fuel the engine that keeps us digging, the join or subscribe button is your key to becoming the inner circle of Secrets Behind the Stars. Make yourself comfortable. What may have looked like ordinary distance is revealing itself as the tense hush that precedes a perfectly orchestrated storm. It has been said, and said again, that their connection was fading, that they signed some private pact to vanish from each other's orbit. Yet the whispers that refuse to die insist on the opposite. Away from the hungry lens, the conversation between Gökberk and Cemre never thinned, it deepened. We hear of measured choices, quiet exchanges, invisible alignment. Since those fevered days of last summer, their clocks have ticked together like two finely tuned timepieces, commitments stacked in a pattern that makes sense only if you zoom out. This was not accident, but intention, a disciplined resolve to carve out a future chapter where their worlds are not merely adjacent, but woven. What has filtered into our hands feels less like random notes and more like chapters torn from a careful novel. A long arc emerges, work and life threaded without seams, personal moments echoing professional crescendos, ambition finding harmony with the heart. There are markers on this path, so we're told. Not wishful statements, but actionable beats, room for maneuver, and contingency doors should winds shift. Imagine a prologue that barely rustles the air, a steady climb that stirs the ground, and then a reveal big enough to steal a season. That's the blueprint murmured by those who claim to have peeked behind the curtain. If the first move of this grand play has a direction, it points beyond borders. The global ties that Gökberk has cultivated with patient precision, added to Cemre's high-visibility brand alliances, hint at something far more strategic than sweet escapes or shadowy hideaways. This looks like a coalition of careers, a deliberate expansion of their stage. Together, they are said to be charting the map with a panoramic view, not only where to appear, but when, how, and under what terms. Recognition, quality, and image are essential, but freedom, real freedom, is the compass guiding their route. Now, dear confidants of Secrets Behind the Stars, you who read not just posts but patterns, have you noticed the crumbs? Those tiny coincidences left like markers in the sand, daring the tide to wash them away? In recent weeks, social media has played host to a quiet riddle. Photos posted hours apart reveal backdrops that seem to hum the same note. Friends seen with one appear with the other soon after. Captions carry double meanings to attentive ears. A bracelet here, a reflection there, a shadow that seems too familiar to be random. It is as if they are telling a story in daylight code, trusting their sharpest followers to decode the music between the beats. Have you cracked it? Tell us what your gut says. The rumor mill is grinding, and it insists there is a score being composed, with the overture already building. Neither Gökberk nor Cemre has given the press a line to chew on, their vow of silence has become legend in certain circles. Yet anticipation is a drum that never stops. Is a new screen project forming just beyond the horizon? Did they strike a decision bold enough to reroute both lives? Many swear it's obvious that their explosive chemistry, which once seemed like a one-time flare, is warming into a flame ready for a fresh scene together. A voice we trust, close enough to feel the breeze of their decisions, told us plainly that this round is not about short arcs or fuzzy ideas. This time the plan is deeper, heavier, built to last. They aren't racing toward a cliff, they're moving with precise intention, because certainty lightens the feet. When you know where you're going, you don't sprint. You glide. And that, more than anything, is what has sent the fandom's heartbeat climbing. That same voice hinted at a detail we cannot ignore: the preparation is done, the clock has started its final count. There is talk, careful, persistent, about a date circled boldly in a hidden calendar. It seems to coincide with a fresh wave of brand activity tied to Cemre and the opening of a new project cycle for Gökberk. If that is true, spontaneity left the building a long time ago. What remains is a tactical play designed in advance and honed with a discipline that would impress a seasoned operations team. The timing would serve a multitude of purposes at once, folding personal declarations and professional momentum into a single impact that advertisers dream about and studios chase. But here is the buzz that sends fans into a spiral, a credible chance that we will see them share the same set again. No script has found daylight, and no contract has bled into inboxes we trust, but the matching windows in their schedules have only fanned the flames. Producers with a nose for audience fever are said to be watching from the tall grass, ready to pounce with an offer that would be hard to refuse. Those who know this pair well say they have shed impulsiveness and embraced a calmer spirit. They want balance, not just thrills. They want craft and control, not just quick sparks. And so we arrive at the question that refuses to loosen its grip: are we standing at the point of no return? Reporters hover, social platforms are a chorus of guesswork, and fan pages are running red alerts. Whispers say we may see a statement before the year draws to a close, or at the dawn of the next cycle when new beginnings are sweetest. The simple phrase that preparations have finished splashed like a match into dry brush, and suddenly expectation burned everywhere. As if that were not enough, there is a deeper rumor circulating in quiet rooms. This isn't solely about a romantic whisper or a single show pitch. It could be about life in a larger sense. Trusted confidants and family members have reportedly been given a message shaped like a riddle: be ready for surprises you didn't see coming. That kind of alert doesn't get sent for a weekend getaway or a side project. It suggests a pivot that could redraw the map of their days. Serious intent radiates from the way each piece is handled, wrapped, and placed. Like precious cargo waiting for the ship to clear the fog. Experts in image management point out just how disciplined the handling of visibility has been. The playbook, they say, makes stealth a principle, not an afterthought. Private flights, secluded venues, itineraries that shift with barely a whisper, all in service of staying one step ahead of curious eyes. And yet, in this world, secrecy is gasoline. The less you say, the louder everyone else becomes, and the more value your next word carries. It's a paradox that both of them seem to have mastered. These ripples haven't stopped at the borders of entertainment. Major brands have sharpened their pencils, running numbers, testing scenarios, crafting proposals that hinge on the gravitational pull of two names linked as one. International companies are peering through the glass, measuring sentiment and imagining campaigns that would bathe in the glow of a joint reveal. Some seasoned insiders insist the canvas is already nearly finished. The outlines are bold, the colors filled in, and only a few deliberate brushstrokes remain. You can see the form through the veil, but you can't yet touch it. When that veil falls, we intend to stand at the very front, eyes up, microphones ready, not to shout over the moment but to let it ring. What does your heart hope to witness? A vow whispered under lights that do not flicker? A story that runs across episodes and seasons, testing their range and tempering their bond? A venture that turns their names into a shared signature above a door the world wants to walk through? There is no wrong answer when the horizon is this wide. Speak your predictions in the comments, because fans have a history of catching the future out of the air before it lands. There is one more thread to pull, and it glows. The overlapping geographies mean something. Think of the lakeside reflections that match too neatly across their feeds, of the muted tones and wardrobe choices that harmonize like a private joke, of the way a single line in a caption can echo a lyric posted weeks earlier by the other. These aren't coincidences strung together by wishful hearts. They look like a map annotated in pencil, erased, and drawn again until the path held true. If you feel the pattern, you're not imagining it. They want you to sense it, even as they refuse to say it. Does this mean we're promised a joint announcement tied to that rumored date? Not promised, never promised. But the pieces are arranged in a way that feels less like chance and more like choreography. Movements repeat until they become muscle memory, and then you glide, no matter who's watching. That's the energy coming off this hush, not panic, but poise. And the ones who doubt will be the loudest believers the moment the opening line is spoken. Meanwhile, a calm certainty seems to define their separate steps. He is reportedly reviewing international scripts with an eye for roles that demand depth over noise, weighing the kind of character that invites audiences to lean in. She, aligned with brands that speak a cosmopolitan language, appears to be curating campaigns with storytelling baked into the visuals. Their lanes don't collide by accident, they merge at angles designed for a smooth flow, not a jolt. When personal and professional roads meet without a crash, it's because someone drew the blueprint with care. We are told that the inner circle has practiced the art of saying nothing in ways that say everything. When asked, they smile in ways that feel rehearsed but not false, the kind of smile that knows the value of a moment unspent. Logistics whisper their own tale, meetings that appear and vanish, travel plans that change like weather, a calendar that opens a window then shuts it, as if testing the seals for the day the real wind comes through. There's an elegance to this kind of planning that only works when the stakes are high and the outcome worth the effort. If you've ever watched a stagehand move silently in the wings while a show prepares to start, you know the sensation. That's where we are. The curtains haven't parted, but you can hear the soft thud of shoes on wood, the last checks of light and sound, the quiet breath taken right before a voice projects into the room. Across timelines and whispers, that breath feels shared by two people who understand the cost of a false start and the reward of a perfect cue. And so we wait, not passively, but with the focus that witnesses bring when they know a moment is worth catching. If a surprise falls and no one is there to hear it, did it really make a sound? We intend to hear it, and so do you. Keep your notifications alive. Keep your instincts sharp. Keep your courage to imagine intact. Because the path they've chosen doesn't hand out spoilers freely, it rewards those who can see the arc of a story in the way two lives begin to rhyme. Thank you for walking this tightrope of silence and signal with us. If this deep dive into their quiet strategy has lit up your fascination, press like, subscribe, and consider joining our insider circle by clicking the subscribe button to support Secrets Behind the Stars. Until the reveal lights the sky, remember this: silence is not the absence of a message. It is the message spoken so carefully that only the attentive can hear it. Good night, and keep your eyes on the line where the hush ends and the truth steps forward.